Hey guys, it's Omer from MMOs.com doing a quick weekly news recap of all major MMO news and announcements for the week ending April 29th, 2019. This is episode number 197 of the recap, and the first of news this week is from Ascent Infinite Realm, or just Air. The game officially launched into open beta this last week in Thailand, and while we still have no release schedule for Western release, the fact that it's playable right now in Thailand tells us that it's making progress. Now, there's actually an English patch available as well if you Google around, so anyone who wants to play Air can do so actually right now. Unfortunately though, people are already complaining that the game runs extremely poorly, which to anyone keeping an eye on this game shouldn't be too surprised as it runs on the Unreal Engine 3, which has long had issues with MMOs. Given that the game has performance issues in other regions, I expect that once the game launches here in the West, we'll have issues in here as well. When a game launches from one region to another, they really don't change any of the core gameplay mechanics or the core engine itself. They just really localize the game by changing the translations and whatnot. So there isn't going to be any big core changes to the game. So whatever problems we see in the Thai version or the Korean version, we're going to be seeing here in the West as well. Again, no official release date for the Western version just yet, but you can play on the Thai version if you Google around for it. Next up, Final Fantasy XIV released patch 4.57 this last week, which includes the game's long-awaited world visit system, which allows players to visit other servers on the same data center, which I think is actually awesome. I actually love the Black Desert Online system where everything is on a single server and players can freely switch channels, and while this isn't nearly as good because you only visit servers on the same data center, it's still a huge step up from where the game was before. I would like to see every MMORPG use the Black Desert or Final Fantasy XIV system in the future because there's no reason we can't just have one server with many different channels or just being able to freely change servers, without having to buy the expensive server transfers. So I would like to see in World of Warcraft and other MMORPGs as well. I mean, there's no reason we can't have it. We've seen it in Black Desert, we see it in Final Fantasy XIV. It's definitely doable. And now, speaking of Black Desert Online, Kakao Games unveiled the development roadmap for the game's second quarter of 2019, and includes a new fiery horse map called Doom, a new high-level underwater ruins area, a new region called Star's End, where players can unlock the Black Star weapon. The roadmap also teases a new group PvE content coming to the game, which is to launch in the next few months, and is billed as a type of PvE encounter that players haven't seen before in Black Desert Online. And given that Black Desert has been pretty heavy on PvP and has been a bit light on the PvE content, it's good to see some new PvE game modes and stuff into the game. Lastly, life skills will also be getting updated along with Manos gear, and as always, there's a bunch of in-game events happening between now and all these updates coming out. And we don't really specific release dates for any of this stuff right now, but it's good to see that it's all coming into Black Desert in the next few months. The game remains one of the most popular MMORPGs in the West with over 12,000 players online at a given time on Steam alone, which definitely ain't too shabby. Next up, Dungeons & Dragons Online pushed back its Masterminds of Sharn expansion to May 14th from its scheduled release date of April 30th, and the reason provided was to basically give developers more time to polish it up before release. While the big update being pushed back always sucks, it's only being pushed back 2 weeks, which isn't too bad. Now, Sharn introduces 60 new dungeons, a new raid, a new playable race, the Tiefling, new monsters, and a ton more. It's a big expansion, and a little more time to get it done right isn't a big deal. Hopefully they won't have to push it back any further, though. Up next, the Pathless Layers expansion for Dauntless went live this last week, and with it comes a ton of new content along with a revamped progression system aimed at smoothing out the new player experience with the goal of making the early game experience a little bit quicker so players can get to the core content faster, so basically get to the good content a bit quicker. Also including the Pathless Layers expansion is a new mastery system, new quests, and a new Dauntless map. Dauntless, for those that don't know, is a Monster Hunter inspired game where players take on huge bosses, but unlike Monster Hunter, is actually free to play. And there really aren't that many other free-to-play games like Dauntless, so if you like what you see, give it a try, because again, there really aren't that many other games like this. Next up, Overwatch has announced a pretty huge update, and I'm actually pretty excited for it. Jeff Kaplan from the Overwatch team unveiled the game's upcoming workshop system, which is exactly what it sounds like. Players will be able to basically make custom game modes and other mods within Overwatch. So it looks like they're embracing player-created content. Unfortunately, this isn't going to be a hero or map maker, as players won't be able to import any custom art assets or play with map designs, but they'll play with game modes, balance numbers, and a ton of other stuff. And I suspect because of it, we'll be getting a lot of cool game modes and ideas from it. I've long been a fan of player-made content in games, so I think this is going to be awesome for Overwatch. And who knows, if it works out really well, we might eventually get a hero maker or a custom art maker or map maker and all those other goodies in the future. I'm excited for it because I'm pretty sure the community will make some pretty crazy fun things that we just would never see from the original developers. Next up, Camelot Unchained hosted a big stress test event a week and a half or so ago, which in and of itself isn't really big news, but it shows that Camelot Unchained is still making progress. Camelot Unchained is an MMORPG that's been in development for a long time now, many years, and while things are still moving really slowly, they do seem to be moving. Mark Jacobs, the head honcho behind the game, still does his weekly Q&As on YouTube, outlining progress, but it does seem like this one is taking such a long time, and unfortunately there's no concrete release date for the game yet. I'd be surprised if it releases this year, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to. My guess is probably 2020 or 2021. That's my guess. Thanks for the last bit of news this week, and yeah, I know it's been a bit of a quiet week this time. The voxel Dino Sandbox game Pixark is officially launching on May 31st after nearly a year of early access. Unfortunately, Pixark hasn't been doing nearly as well as the original Ark Survival Evolved game, which to this day averages over 30,000 players on Steam. And while Pixark is sitting at 220 or so, perhaps they should go free to play because you just can't make it with 220 players in a survival game. The servers will be empty, and there's no reason to play an empty survival game. But anyway, guys, that's it for my news this week. No podcast tomorrow. Altai and I are both in Istanbul, and the timing is just very wonk right now, but we should hopefully be back in the rhythm for next podcast after that. Anyway, guys, that's it for MMO News this week. Take care, guys.